Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to take a look back at a Twisted Sister box set that came out called Rock and Roll Survivors that collects together 3 live albums from back in the day, 1980 and 1983. And it's got a lot of cool memorabilia with this. And it was released in 2016 when Twisted Sister had decided they were finally hanging things up. They'd been reunited for a number of years and touring and doing one-off shows and things and recording a single here or re-recording an album as it was with the Stay Hungry, things like that. Never recording a full-length album, but finally in 2016 they were calling it a day and going out on a farewell tour, and this was released sort of a celebration of the live spirit of the band. The band had always been known for its live shows. But to go back and give you a little bit of background on the band itself, they actually started in New Jersey under the name Silver Star in 1972. Not a lot of people know that the band goes back that far. They didn't have their first big hit until 1984 with We're Not Gonna Take It off the Stay Hungry album. That's almost 12 years later. But they did get their start in 1972. They were in New Jersey before relocating to Long Island, where they're really known for having been from. And they wanted to be the New Jersey version of the New York Dolls. And you got to remember, in 1972, glam rock was really big with bands like New York Dolls and Gary Glitter and other artists like that of the day, The Sweet. That were out there doing that sort of a thing. So, that's what they were looking at doing. That's where their sound base was. But in 1973, they changed their name to Twisted Sister. And at that point, Dee Snider, he didn't join the group until 1976 at the urging of their manager. He thought that they needed someone that had more of the Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin style vocal to it. And that's how Dee Snider was brought into the band. And since that point, the band went through a lot of different lineup changes during those early years, but they actually got so popular during that time that they created their own t-shirt company and their own record label. They were literally playing, thousands of shows during the year and stuff, doing double sets and so forth. So once they released their first 2 singles on their own record label, it finally caught the attention of a UK record label called Secret Records. And in 1982, they were signed to Secret Records and released an EP called Rough Cuts, followed by their debut Under the Blade. Unfortunately, Secret Records didn't stay around very long. They ultimately went out of business. And following a TV performance that Twisted Sister did, they actually caught the eye of Atlantic Records and then were signed with them in 1983 and released their second album, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, which started to really get them in a forward trajectory at that point. They had a sizable hit with that song on MTV, but it wasn't until that third album, Stay Hungry, in 1984 that they really hit the mainstream. That album with the song We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock, both of those songs huge at that time. And ultimately the album went triple platinum, selling 3 million copies. The follow-up in 1985, Come Out and Play, didn't fare so well, and there began to be a backlash against them. Just their image, the types of videos and all that sort of stuff. They'd sort of become so big that now there was a involuntary backlash against them, really for no reason, but this does happen sometimes when bands get so big and so overblown in the media. And that album only sold 500,000 copies, went gold, and it's nothing to sneeze at, but by comparison to Stay Hungry and its 3 million in sales, it was a big letdown. Now at that point, Dee Snider recorded an album with all session players, save for having Joe Franco, drummer of Twisted Sister, on there, but we had actually had Reb Beach, future Winger guitar player, on there as well. And it was produced by Beau Hill, who's known for working with Winger and those sort of bands. But Atlantic Records refused to release it unless it was under the Twisted Sister name. So in 1987, that album that was recorded with session musicians ultimately came out as a Twisted Sister album, and it was the Love for Suckers album that came out. And unfortunately, 2 months later, Atlantic Records dropped them. The album just didn't really do anything. That backlash had continued, and the band broke up shortly thereafter. Now, over the years, as I had mentioned, they did get back together. Right after 9/11 was the first time that they reunited for the New York Steel concert, which was really great to raise money for, all the first responders after 9/11. And since that time, they continued to play one-off shows and do small little tours. And as I said, record some singles here and there and stuff like that. But finally, in 2016, they just announced their farewell tour. It was called the 40 and F It Tour. You can figure out what the rest of that word was, and then they did call it a day. And so then this box set was put together and released in celebration of that live history. It's a really cool lift top box. There's the sides of it and the back, and as I mentioned, it's 3 live concerts, 2 from 1980 and 1 from 1983. But the cool thing about this is the memorabilia and what this is. So when this opens up here, it's got a cool little mirror on the inside. It's like a vanity. It's got, guitar picks, backstage pass, cool booklet. There's even a little lipstick in here. I'm gonna pull all that stuff out now. So first thing I'll do is I'm gonna actually take out all the stuff that's in it, and I'm gonna show you, it's a red velvet lined box. Like I said, it's supposed to be like a vanity. It's got the mirror, and then it's actually got this Twisted Sister pink lipstick. You can imagine, them putting that on back in the day. There are 3 albums, and they're in individual cases, which is really cool. Now, the quality of these all come from radio broadcasts. So they're not high quality, but they're not bad at all. They're just a bit muddied and muddled, but that's, the time frame of these sort of things. So this was recorded at West Islip, Long Island, August 8th, 1980. There's the front cover of it. They come in these cardboard sleeves. There's nothing on them. There's the backside covering the track listing. So 1980, this is before they were signed, 2 years. Then you have this one here, and this is June 27th, 1979 and May 24th of 1980. So going back a little bit further, and it's cool, it does have some of those older songs that are on here, Ladies Boy, Rock and Roll, Saviors, Chinese Hustle, Plastic Money, cover songs like Johnny B. Good on here. And then in 1983 from Donington, this one here, really cool. And they got a cover at the end of this. It's Only Rock and Roll, the Stones song, which is really cool. And all of these are really good. Believe it or not, the first one on here, Hammerheads, I actually think is the best quality of them all, followed by Detroit Club, and then this one called Donington. All good though, as I said. Now, memorabilia-wise, as I said, you got a cool backstage pass. It's got the old original Twisted Sister logo on it, and the date of a 1979 show. And then it's got 3 guitar picks, and they're real guitar picks. Actually got that powdery feel to them and everything. So there's one there. This is a J.J. French and Eddie Ojetta's. And then the booklet, I really like the booklet. I think they did really well on this. A lot of cool images and write-up and a history during this time period. I gave you the big overall history, but they've got so much more history going back all the way to 1972. Really, if you like this band, I recommend digging in to that back history, because as I said, 10 to 12 years worth of history and material and stuff from before they were signed and made it big. So really cool stuff, but there you go. A cool box set. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Keep on rocking. Bye-bye.